New cards, PogChamp. New cards, PogChamp. Okay, first and foremost, I think I speak for everyone when I say white, 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 white. That's right, White 2 is happening. A new pre-constructed deck, the Chronicles deck, the Fallen and the Virtuous. This is free money for anyone who wants to get top of r/Master Duel image where the guy is standing on a big pile of money and he says, I'm going to starve because of your greed. And, you know, one of the two is like Ryziel and the other of the two is Branded. I can't believe Branded is getting more shit. A brand new pre-constructed deck based around enjoying the world building and setting of a theme will debut with the Chronicles deck, the Fallen and the Virtuous. So it'll tie into the Chronicles short anime on YouTube.com. Based on the second Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game Chronicles promotional animated short, The Fallen and the Virtuous. The product includes monsters, spells, and traps featuring the principal characters, but it also contains 4 brand new artworks of existing cards, as well as 2 brand new cards to expand the world building of the setting. That's right. New Branded's PogChamp. This could do a lot. For those of you who play Branded in Master Duel, you know that Branded is a pretty competent deck. In the TCG, it's a little underpowered relative to where it needs to be, but in Master Duel, it's still really good. I think 2 cards, I mean, fucking Branded Fusion 2 could make it happen. I don't know, big day to be a Branded player, but it's been a big day to be a Branded player every single day for the last 4.5 years. So what do you want? Another 20 billion new cards to Branded. I'm excited for 1 Brandillion new cards. All right, next up. Why are we doing this? The Lost Art Promotion 2025. First and foremost, wake me when they make Lost Art Paguska. I am not interested in any Lost Arts until they make Lost Art Paguska. But this one's so weird to me. Like, Armed Wing is a cool Lost Art, right? I don't really give a shit about Calamity. But Backup Adignister and Goddess of the Two Sides just came out. Why are we printing cards with TCG censorship if we're just going to release the uncensored versions weeks later? What the fuck? What? Am I crazy? Like, what's going on here? 5, like, maybe they looked at the amount of cards that had received censorship and they were like, oh no, after June 2025, we're just going to be out of them. Like, everything left is going to be like that one pendulum card where they moved a pixel around because someone sat on the Xerox machine before it fired. And so they started printing cards pre-censored with the intention of uncensoring them in the Lost Art promos. I don't know. I appreciate the Blackwing Armed Wing. That'll be cool. But, like, just print Backup Adignister's luscious ass. We don't need to do this dance. Just print Goddess of the Two Sides without the pixelated armpit. Like, it's no big deal. I'm going to be normal. All right, well, I do like after more than 20 years, Otohime leaps into the Lost Art promotion with a look you have never seen before. Sure? I mean, I wasn't really clamoring to play Otohime, to be completely honest. You can play both sides, so you always come out on top with the Lost Art of Goddess of Two Sides. Is this a confirmation that she's bisexual? Good for her, I guess, but listen, I don't care about your sexuality. If you enable the Arcana forces, you need to be brought to heel. All right, next up. Okay, we've got, I think, the second wave of Art Megia support. So these are the Doom Zs, and oh, they look like Yu-Gi-Oh cards, I'll tell you that. Wowie, wow, wow. Okay, the Doom Z theme seems to be heavily connected to clocks. Doom in its original meaning was another way of saying fate or coming judgment, or, you know, the Doomsday Clock. By the way, if you guys have ever checked out the Doomsday Clock, let's do that right now. I've misspelled Doomsday 3 times now. Doomsday Clock. It's now 89 seconds to midnight. How am I supposed to register that in my head? 89 seconds? Is that more or less than 90 seconds? Current time. 89. Closer than ever. In 2024, humanity edged nuclear risk in Ukraine, climate change, re-emerging diseases, disruptive technologies that incorporate artificial intelligence, threat multiplier misinformation. The United States, China, and Russia have the collective power to destroy civilization. Hey, we made the cut! Fuck you, Britain! All right, anyway, We have Doomsy Dero's Drastia. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn. You can target a Doomsy card you control, destroy it if you do special summon this card from your hand, then equip one equip spell from your deck to it. Whoa! While this card is equipped with an equip card, you can special summon one Wind Machine Xyz monster from your extra deck with a rank equal to this card's level. Treat it as an Xyz summon if you do attach this card and all cards equipped to it to that monster. That is fucking tight. Wait, that's really sick. Are there any Wind 8s, or is it they just want you to go into their own stuff? I was going to say they want you to go into their own tribal stuff. I might be that friend that's too woke on this. I know Magic changed tribal because they were like, it has some connotations. What are we saying instead of that? Archetypal? That's got to be it, right? Their own archetypal monsters. Okay, there are no Wind level 8 Xyz monsters. Are you fucking with me? 0 Wind level 8 monsters? That's nuts. All right. Racial. I don't think that it's going to be racial. I don't think so. Doomsy 5 Almathe. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. If this card is normal or special summoned or destroyed by a card effect, you can add a Doomsy monster from your deck to your hand, except for Almathe. While equipped with an equip card, and this one doesn't naturally equip itself, you can special summon... Oh my god, okay, why did I close that out? Okay, so this one's a 4. I'm sure they're going to have Wind Xyz monsters. I just want to get a sense of what else could be made with them. Monster, Xyz, Wind, 4. Okay, you can make... Oh, there's some good stuff in here. Ryu... Ouroboros, Tornado Dragon, Kidori, Castel, Emerald. Okay, we got some good options here. Has to be machine. All right, there are no longer any good options. Do we have any even? Ouroboros, big day for Ouroboros. Doomsy 7 Elara. When this card is normally special summoned, you can set a spell trap. When this card is equipped with an equip card, you can special summon a Wind Machine Xyz monster from your extra deck with rank equal to this card's level. Okay. Power Patron Machine Doomsy. All right, so the Power Patrons are the sister archetype to the Armegias. Right now we just have the Owl. This is our second one. I imagine the thrust of this thing is going to be each, like, individual archetype within the Armegia lore has a Power Patron that influences what their followers look like and do. Okay, so this is Machine Doomsy. You cannot special summon from the extra deck except Xyz monsters, all right? Ryziel. You can target another effect monster you control, special summon from your deck one Doomsy Xyz monster or Jupiter the Power Patron of Destruction, sick fucking name, with a rank equal to the level of that monster you control by using it as material, and equip this card you control to it. If this card is destroyed, you can add a Doomsy card from your deck to your hand. Jupiter the Power Patron of Destruction. Once per turn, you can Xyz summon Jupiter by using a monster you control equipped with 3 or more equip cards. This is the big one. If this card is Xyz summoned, you can equip any number of appropriate equip spells from your graveyard to it. Gains 3,000 attack while it has an Xyz monster as material. Then once per turn, you can detach a material from this card to special summon a Doomsy monster from your graveyard, then destroy a card on the field. This is like their ultimate beast or whatever. Awesome fucking art. Oh my god. Really, really very Yu-Gi-Oh! It looks like that Zack Snyder character from Justice League. But not a particularly powerful piece of an end board, if I'm reading this correctly. Doomsy End Drestyrus. Okay, this is the one that looks like a freak. This is an 8. This is the 8 that you can make. If this card is Xyz summoned, you can equip one other face-up monster on the field to it. First off, love it. The first time this card would be destroyed by a battle or card effect, it's not destroyed. When your opponent activates a monster effect on the field, detach material from this card, negate the effect, then you can equip one face-up monster your opponent controls to this card. Okay. Now that is actually very powerful. Wow. Okay. Non-targeting, it's negation plus destruction a la Varudris is the other card it reminds me of. It's good going first and second. It's better going second than going first. I talk about this all the time. I love these cards that are playable first and second, but better going second than they are going first. I like this a lot. Here's the 4 they want you to make. Doomsy Break Dictatoress. If this card is special summon, destroy a Doomsday card in your hand or face-up field, then you can destroy a monster on the field. If this card is destroyed by battle or card effect while it has a Doomsday monster or Medius the Purist material, okay, you can add to your hand or send to the graveyard one equip spell from your deck. What are we doing with that information? Is this like, is it another fucking alt-universe archetype? Is this evil Medius? Doomsday Raider. During your main phase, you can destroy a Doomsday card in your hand and face-up field, Add to your hand or special summon a Doomsday monster from your deck. Also, you can't special summon for the extra deck except Xyz. If this card is destroyed by a card effect, target a face-up on the monster on the field, destroy it. Cool card. Doomdurg. Once per turn during the standby phase, inflict 500 damage to the equipped monster's controller. A Doomsday monster or Wind Machine Xyz monster gains these effects. Your opponent can't target it with card effects. Once per turn, destroy a face-up monster card you control. Until the end of this turn, this card gains attack equal to its own level, rank times 100. It can attack directly. Also, if it battles, destroyed at the end of the damage step. So what you're meant to do is get Raider on field and then equip it with Doomdurg, and then your monster's Trident. Destruction. Your opponent cannot add cards from the deck to the hand except by drawing them. Holy shit. Holy shit, holy shit. If this card is destroyed by card effect, you can target a face-up monster on the field, equip a Doomsday monster from your deck to it, okay? Theorize Overdrive. Target a Medius the Pure in your graveyard or banishment, special summon it. Then during your main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard to target a face-up monster you control and declare a level from 1 to 10. Its level becomes a declared level till the end of this turn. Okay, so this is a way you can cheat out the big 10 without having to do its stupid summoning effect, right? And I guess it's extension because you're already playing Medius. Artmegia Movement Lineage. Ooh. I'm interested in hearing what this means. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn. You can special summon from the extra deck the turn you activate either of these cards' effects, except for fusion monsters. If your opponent controls more monsters than you do, special an Artmegia from your deck in defense. If this card is sent to the graveyard to activate the effect of Artmegia, you can add an Artmage trap from your graveyard or banishment to your hand. Huh. Okay, so a couple of weird parts about this one. The first is, does this do nothing going first? It's a weird decision. Artmegia Perpetuatia Goku. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn. You're fusion locked. Target a monster in your opponent's graveyard. Return an Artmage you control to the hand or extra deck and special summon the targeted monster to your field, but its effects are negated. If this card is sent to the graveyard to activate the effect of Art's Acropolis, you can add an Artmage spell from your graveyard or banishment to your hand. Okay. So it gives us a little bit of insight into what the Artmegias are going to do. I imagine there's going to be one Artmegia archetype with an individual power patron per summoning type. And so we have the Xyz and the fusion ones. Doomsday is the Xyz one. And I think that the Doomsday guys are supposed to be like alt-universe or future or evil version of Medius, which is cool. I mean, we've done that a trillion times in Yu-Gi-Oh!, but I clap my hands like a baby seal every time I see it. Ha ha ha, I love. The thing that's a little upsetting here is that the first couple of cards led me to believe they were going to have a suite of powerful equip cards that justified all of these effects that are like, if it's equipped with an equip spell, equip an equip spell from deck to it, you know, get it going. And then they have one equip spell, and it's okay. Like, this is a fine equip spell, for sure, but like, it's not an equip that says win the game, which is what I expected. The weird part about this is, I think because they like mention 3 equip spells everywhere, you'll max out on this maybe, but you also might have to play other equip spells. Like, what other broken equip spells are worth playing? At present, I think Makanko has kind of already exhausted that design space. We're all pretty familiar with what the good equip spells are, and the truth of the matter is generics, there just aren't very many. Snatch Steal? Yeah, but you're equipping it to your own monster. Like, they've figured out a secret. If the thrust of the archetype is equip an equip spell to your own monster, there's not that much you can do with it. I think Angel Ring is probably the best one. Durandal is a good call, yeah, but what are you doing with Durandal? Searching Raisin. Wait, let's go. I don't know. Very odd. Very strange. Consider this. All right, if you have like a stupid combo, I'll click that for sure. Good thing there aren't that many good Wind Machine Xyz monsters. Okay, wait. Hold. You're cooking. Synchro Boost. The equipped monster gains 500 attack. Its level increased by 1. Wind Machine level not... Wait, hold up. You're cooking. You're cooking. Hold up. You're chefing. You're making a little dish for us to enjoy? No, I don't think so. I mean, what's funny is Enter Blotnir is also or already criminally easy to make. It's just one hand loop isn't that great. If we can do it 3 times. It is cute, at least. That's true. Yeah. Is there a 5 wind machine that's like broken? Oh, we can make Zenmayo by doing this on the 4. If we equip 3 to it, we can make a 7 and go Tomahawk or Dracosack. Wait a minute. I don't know. Yeah, very weird stuff. I mean, I don't think any of this is broken for Armeggia. I'm not super thrilled about the future of Armeggia. I don't really know what Armeggia does in any sort of realistic sense post this support, but whatever. All right, next up. Get ready to learn the Synchro, buddy. Oh, wait, get ready to summon Speeder, buddy. All right, let's go. Gain extreme speed with Power of Fellows structure deck. Okay, so this is a new junk Synchron structure, which, first off, we are just fanning the last embers of 5Ds until it burns out. We're huffing the fumes of the speed world to this day. Nothing ever changes. That said, I am really excited for this because I do like these cards. Now, if I'm not mistaken, these are not all of the individual cards that this deck is going to be getting, right? Isn't it going to get a couple more that haven't been revealed yet? Regardless, we will do what we can with the information we've been given as a result of these cards. All right. First up, Junk Warrior Extreme. Junk Synchron plus 1 non-tuner monsters. It's a level 8. You can only use this card's name 1 or 2 effects once per turn each. If this card is synchro summoned, you can special summon as many level 2 or lower monsters from your graveyard as possible, but their effects can't be activated for the rest of the turn. Also, you can only special summon once for the rest of the turn. When this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can banish this card to special summon a Junk Synchro from your extra deck. Full Speed Warrior. God, I love that this looks like a 5Ds card. If this card is normal, oh, I mean, it does because it's Speed Warrior, but they've drawn it in such a way that it's like there's so little going on in the art. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can add a Junk Synchron or a spell trap that mentions Junk Warrior from your deck to your hand. And just so you know, there are some broken ones, basically all tutors. Monsters that mention Junk Warrior and Synchro monsters with Warrior you control gain 900 attack during your battle phase only. Funny little nod to the original effect. Quillbolt Hedgehog 2, Quillbolt Harder. If this card is in your graveyard and you control Junk Warrior or a monster that mentions it, except itself, as a quick special this in defense, also you can't special summon from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except Synchro monsters. That's kind of cool. It can hop out of the graveyard on your opponent's turn for like an Axel Synchro setup. Synchro Fellows. What's up, my Synchro Fellows? This is because the Synchros are white. They had to call it Synchro Fellows. Add a Junk Synchron and a monster that mentions Junk Warrior or Stardust Dragon from your deck to your hand, then discard a card. That's kind of cool. You know, you can grab Hedgehog, and then it's a combo on its own. Wait, I've actually just... This is the line, right? You add Junk Synchron and Anchor Bolt Hedgehog, discard the Anchor Bolt. Normal Junk Synchron, special the Anchor Bolt, then Synchro into a 5. You can reborn the Anchor Bolt Hedgehog to go a little further. That's kind of cool. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target a Synchro monster you control, decrease its level by 1, then during your main phase this turn, you can normal summon a Synchron monster in addition to your normal summoner set. Okay, so, obviously hard to place these. This is the card that's perplexing me the most, obviously, Junk Warrior Extreme. I don't know what to do with this card. So it reads really strong. It's like Ass Dragon on steroids, right? But this, you can only synchro summon once for the rest of the turn, makes me think it's meant for a very specific purpose, which is making Quasar, right? It's meant to make Quasar at the end of a Junk Speeder combo. Like, the last thing you do is you make an 8, and then you summon a whole bunch of guys, and you make, like, a Quasar or something. Some fucking monster. That's okay. That's cool. But, of course, I think we'll probably... Already requires a lot to go right. That said, you know, the way that the Synchron decks work these days, I'm sure it'll work its way into the extra deck. The extra deck is so tailor-made to what you want to do with the strategy. I don't think you won't have room for this. Like I said earlier, a card that is much better going second. Cool to think you get to OTK by going like pop your opponent's monster, special summon a junk synchro. Can you do himself? You can, but it's only once per turn. Okay. I love this card, Synchro Fellows. This card really, really gets all of the gears in my brain working. This card plus Anchor Bolt seems like it does so much already. There's 1,000 like 1.5s or like one card combos where you have to discard a card, right? In the junk speeder deck already, and they range from everything like you are making this in such a way you're going to chain block the speeder. You are making this in such a way that like the speeder is super easy or maybe repeatable. I like this. I mean, this is a great card. And one of the problems with Junk Speeder, it was a bigger problem in the past, but less of a problem now that we have cards like Wheeled Synchron that are like modular tuners or non-tuners, is that after you resolve Junk Speeder, your board is clogged with tuners and you need non-tuners. The Anchor Bolt resolves that, right? You go get Junk Synchron, specialty Anchor Bolt from Yard with Junk Synchron, make Speeder. Now you've got a 2 that can hop out at any time and translate into a Synchro that does something. I like it. I like this stuff a lot. And for what it's worth, the Synchron deck isn't that far off. Like, the Resolve Junk Speeder automatically win the game strategy is something that people were considering playing as late as like 2023. Like, it's not an awful strategy by any stretch of the imagination. It's one of those decks that could come back into prominence a la Orcust or Lunalight or something with the right suite of cards. And these 4 look like they are on the road to the right suite of cards. How about the Resolve Speeder get nibbed strategy? I mean, that still sucks. They're going to need a way to solve that. They're going to need a way to solve targeted spot negation, but, you know, I don't think it's too outside the realm of possibility that they get it. Cautiously optimistic about these cards. We'll wait to see the rest of the cards that they get. And the next Psycho Jump promo is a Rush Duel card. Light the way with Arequus the Shining Mars Saint. That's my VJump. Okay, so level 5 light pyro effect monster. You can only special summon with the way in this card names 1 effect once per turn. Clunky. You can only use this card's name 2 and 3 effects once per turn each. If you have a face-up card in your spell and trap zone, you can special summon this card from your hand. I gotta say, one of the very few situations where I do have to hand it to TCG templators because the OCG-specific bulleted shit is why this is clunky. In America, it's gonna say, if you have a face-up card in your spell and trap zone, you can special summon this card. You can only special summon this card once per turn this way. Second effect, right? Okay, you can target a face-up spell trap you control, destroy it and this card, then draw a card, and if this card is destroyed, you can target an disease monster you control, attach this card to it. Okay. I don't know. I guess it's hard for me to get my dick hard about these free agents anymore. Being a non-archetypal monster meant to be played with a couple of specific archetypes is such a high bar to clear. The amount of shit you have to do in order to be considered as a 3 of in a slot in a deck that just like absolutely wants to be doing something else is out of this world, and frequently you have to be like Diviner of the Heralds level broken in terms of utility to even warrant a second look. I can't think of anything that makes me immediately super excited about this card. I think it's meant to be used in like K9, but I mean, my working knowledge of K9 is still very nascent. You know, I'm not up to date on the K9 decks. I can't imagine a K9 strategy playing this over one of the myriad of other 5-star monsters that deck is already in on, right? This card goes crazy if Smoke Grenade was still legal. Yeah, sure. I mean, the Doom Z deck would be really good if you could play this in the same deck as a deck that can search Smoke Grenade. You're right. You can't. Thank God for that. All right, next up. We are not giving up on the Banishing Teleport Psychics. The legacy of Jeff Jones lives on. We will not give up on the Grand Soil Dream. Okay. Axon Kicker Oracle. Wow, they just like have 4 things psychics are allowed to be, and they just mix and match them. You're allowed to be an Oracle, you're allowed to be an Esper, you're allowed to be an Axon Kicker. You can only use the first or the second and third effect. That's this card's name once per turn. If fusion summoned, it gains 1,000 for each Synchro, Xyz, and Link uses its material until end of the next turn. When your opponent would special summon a monster, you can negate the summon, and if you do, banish that monster. If this fusion summoned card is sent to the graveyard, you can banish a teleport, normal, or quick play spell from your graveyard. Special summon this card. Oh! Well, that's a pretty good card. Serene Psychic... Oh, Sorceress! You can use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn. If Synchro summoned, you can set a teleport, normal, or quick play spell from your deck, graveyard, or banishment. And if the Synchro summoned card is sent to the graveyard, you can target a card your opponent controls, or up to 2. If you control a Psychic or Fusion Synchro monster, return that card to the hand. Another card that gets better when you're going second. Huh. Yeah, okay, this is pretty upsetting. I don't like that Serene Psychic Sorceress sets the card. Let me add the emergency teleport to hand so I can immediately activate it. You can't activate quick play spell cards the turn you set them, which is super irritating. That means they want you to use parallel teleport, which is still good. It's a good card. But it restricts your movement in ways that I wish it didn't. Axon Kicker Oracle is a cool part of an end board. Isn't there already the main line of the Banishing Psychics setup allows you to cheat out a fusion monster? This is a cool guy for that. But I don't know. The first time I took a look at the Banishing Psychic monsters, I voiced this opinion, and I'll reiterate it here. The Psychic Banishing monsters facilitate a game plan that is hard to pin down. They all do individual things that read powerful, but the way that every deck is designed nowadays is the cards do things that are hard to place in a vacuum, but once you get a sense of what all the cards do, it kind of builds itself. You're like, oh, you're meant to structure the setup combo like this. Ba, 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 right? These ones are all just cards with radically different utilities that don't have a clear setup combo. And that sucks. Like, that's frustrating. It's a type of, we want each individual card to have a separate utility that's individually powerful instead of part of a cohesive whole. That sort of design was really everywhere in 5Ds because you just had time to do that. You know, you could play a bunch of disparate cards that did disparate things in a deck that sometimes wanted some of those effects. But now you want a super streamlined setup on every single turn, which makes cards that do some stuff that might be useful sometimes really hard to nail down. And these are more of those. Until I see like a capital S setup, capital C combo, I'm going to continue to be unimpressed by these, despite the fact that every single one reads absolutely crazy. Ugh. All right, next up. Gargardo the Necroforger Fiend. Do you remember the original shape of your soul? All right, lock in. What Weebass reference is the organization making today? Adventure Time? No, I don't think so. A bird monster that wields flickering flames and can shapeshift into all sorts of things. It's JJK. Got it. After switching back and forth from human to bird and from bird to human, it has forgotten its true self. Okay. Oh, I saw the 9 and I was like, the level 9 vanilla? No. What? Why did they make this? Thanks for this. Okay. I guess the exciting thing about this is there's a 9 on it. There's a 9 and there's no restrictions. Not that exciting, though. Level 6 Fiend, they're taunting us, dude. Like a level 6 Light Fiend Pendulum would actually be an interesting direction to take. Like the hypothetical level 6 Light Fiend, because it can't go to the graveyard for if you like link it off for like a sequence, right? That would be like a cool way to balance it, but they're still edging us. They were like, nope, it's a fire. Haha. All right, next up. Tactical try support. So I was a little confused because I was under the impression that Leviathan the Burning Blade has been out for months. So every time they do a tactical tri deck, they release a couple of free agent cards in quotes. They are support for the archetype in the tactical tri deck. They just don't have their name on them. So the two that we got were this one, Leviathan the Burning Blade, which if you play Master Duel, has been in Master Duel for months, right? Am I crazy? You're thinking of Flame Tongue? Wait, this isn't Flame Tongue? What the fuck? He looks exactly the same. I swear I'm not racist. All fire monsters that are reanimated suits of armor look exactly the same to me. During the main phase, you contribute another fire monster. Target a fire monster in your graveyard with the same original type, but a lower level. Special summon it in defense. If a set card in your spell and trap zone would be destroyed by a card's effect, you can banish this card instead. God, I wish that said banish this card from your graveyard instead. Are you kidding me? Banish this card from your field instead. Sure. I mean, I don't know. So I guess the use case for this is Rescue Ace incidentally makes a bunch of link material. This is a weird thing that happens almost exclusively to Rescue Ace. It's got a competent setup combo. The combo weaves through a bunch of monsters, but not on purpose. Like, theoretically, if it could end on just Turbulence, Hydrant, Pass, it would. But it also turns out it just weaves through some monsters as well. So it behooves it to play some generic combo pieces. In the past, those pieces have been used for a lot of things, everything from making proxy F to occasionally insulate against like Imperm, to making 4 SPs over the course of the turn. So a card like this is welcome in a strategy like that. A damn sight better than the fucking Terahertz setup. And this has incidental synergies with the archetype, right? Like, I can imagine a scenario where you end on a Turbulence on your side of the field. Your opponent does something. You pop it. You get to trigger the Turbulence, which, pops another card your opponent controls. Then you're able to use this card to tag the Turbulence out for a Preventer, which I think is an 8 to Turbulence's 9. I could be wrong. If they're both 8, I'm going to be really mad. And then you have a Book of Moon on your side of the field, too. When it goes to the yard, you get to float into something from your Banish. Regardless, this isn't the make or break for the archetype. Like, I think it would have just been the case that for Rescue Ace to be playable, and I played more Rescue Ace than fucking anyone, it would need a link to that explicitly does something broken for Rescue Ace. This is a good generic for fire decks that may occasionally come up, like Flame Tongue, but isn't gonna break the archetype in half. The same cannot be said for this card, Ichiki Sayori Heime. If you thought Saki Tama was busted, wait until you read this. Cannot be special summoned. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn. This is a spirit. Once per turn during the end phase, if this card was normal summoned or flipped face up this turn, return it to the hand. All right. If this card is in your hand, and you control a monster with 800 attack or defense, you can immediately after this effect resolves normal summon this card. So this is Saki Tama's effect, except you have to already have committed to your normal, which is fine. Totally okay. You know who else has 800 attack or defense? Every single fucking Exosister. So it is a no strings attached extender for Exosister. But here's the second effect. If this card is normal summoned, you can add a level 4 light or dark monster with 800 attack or defense from your deck to your hand, except Ichiki Sayori Hime. It's also a fucking 1-card combo for Martha. What the fuck? Am I crazy? This is like the best card they could have ever asked for. It searches the entire arc. It's both a starter and an extender, searchable off of the spirit monsters they were already playing, and I mean, I'm flabbergasted. It's crazy cool. I don't think Exosister is going to be like playable as a result of this. You know, Exosister is one of those decks that frustratingly doesn't live or die off the strength of its end board. It like does put up a pretty weak end board. It just turns out that end board is like good into certain metagames or targeted in certain ways that some decks can't deal with. But I won't deny that this is a damn good card for that deck. I'm excited for Douglas to come back into TCG for this. Not a starter, more of an extender. Yeah, I mean, you want it to be an extender, but worst comes to worst, you can normal summon this card, grab Martha, right? Am I crazy? And then what? Die? How do you get it off field? Easy. You overlay for Typhon. Then you've got an Xyz on your field, and you could Martha. Ugh. Anyway, there are also some other archetypes this works with. Chat's correct. This is it's not 800 attack and defense. It's 800 attack or defense. So anything with 800 anywhere is game. That means that it's kind of a vassal, like sort of a monarch card, but not thrilled for that. All right, last one. Onomatokage. Ashes to ashes. Kages to Kages. He's back, baby. Jaxel just straight up called this card. He said there is going to be as part of the legacy support for the Onomatopoeia Utopia shit, they will release a new Kage to Kage. And this is it. This card is always treated as a Zubaba Gagaga Dododo Go 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 card. If you control a Zubaba Gagaga Go 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 Dododo and this card is in your hand or graveyard, special this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. Yeah, we'll see if it gets banished. You can banish this card from your graveyard, return up to 2 Xyz monsters from your graveyard to the extra deck. So this card's good. Thanks. Yeah, I really don't have anything to say but this. I mean, it's good in that deck. It resolves one of the problems, which is that you have no recoverability because you go through 15 extra deck cards turn 1. And it's very summonable. It's good that you can get it no matter what your board is. It replaces probably replaces some of the dog shit like Go 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 gloves. But that might be enough. Being a reptile's cool. It means you get to play King of the Fairlimps, or at least would if that card wasn't seconds from being banned. Yeah. Sure. You can also tribute it from deck with Mitsurugi Raziel. That is true. Oh, I didn't even think of the implications in Raziel. Tribute this from deck and then shuffle back the Raziel detonator so you can use it again even though it's limited. Wow, that's crazy. And the craziest part is that there's no other card that does that right now. Especially not one that's always part of Raziel's end board. I don't know. I don't think this is that big of a deal for that. I'm going to be honest. Cool card. Cool card. Thus ends New Cards Pop.